Okay, we're rolling for part 2 of the EDT testing with Jean-Paul Gautier. Again, I'm fairly old and new to this, so I actually filled up my internal memory. Filming this on a Samsung. I'm used to iPhones and I'm not used to poor memory. Anyway, so now I've moved to I've just sorted out an SD card, so hopefully I'll be able to edit these videos together. Otherwise, they have to be uploaded as one part and 2, which is annoying, but there we go. Again, I'm still learning how to do this. So back to the initial smell and the spray of the EDT Jean-Paul Gautier. So again, there's elements of mint, citrus, very fresh, clean. I don't want to say aqua or how you would perceive it, but just fresh and clean, kind of like picturing, you know, like I don't want to say a gym, because the gyms I'm used to aren't very clean, but you get what I'm trying to say, that kind of. And I don't want to say cleaning chemicals either, because that's not the right thing to say. This is very nice, but just a clean, kind of powerful projection, but not too strong. I'm not saying it's going to fill the room, but again, when I've smelt it on other people and even myself, this initial smell, even without not being too close to my nose, you know, like some people have to get right up in their nose to smell certain things. This is potent. And personally, in terms of the longevity, the initial smell, the dry down, it's very consistent, because it's an EDT. EDP tends to come in different layers, so you have like the base, the heart, and then you know what it trails off into, rather. EDT tends to be kind of like, you know, well, again, it varies, because they say anywhere from 2 to 6 to 8 hours. But with this on me or on my skin, this can last, I don't want to say all day, like even from like 8 to 10 hour point, is, you know, it's still sort of there in the background. And some of that could be that you become nose blind to certain fragrances, or rather you detect it less. Like I literally, obviously, hopefully I'll be able to combine these videos and you'll be able to see my initial reaction, but it's very strong. So yeah, 9 out of 10 with that long lasting, fresh, clean, mass appealing. It tends to review really well. Again, I'm not just biased towards what other people say. They can think what they like, that's their choice. But for my opinion, it's a 9 out of 10, and it's a solid signature fragrance that, yeah, it's very popular, but it stands out amongst certain others. Now we go into the more modernized, sort of darker, richer formula that kind of, you know, right. Then we introduce Yuna, who is a Bengal cat who kept knocking over the video when I was trying to set it up earlier. So I've had to put her outside the room, and maybe at a later date we'll be able to introduce her into the video. But she's like a cheeky little monkey, and she likes jumping up on things and knocking things down that are new to her. So if you hear a weird meow in the background, that's Yuna. We're coming towards the end of the video anyway. Again, I'll try to edit or combine them. Dad does software photo editing and takes probably a week to do it, and then upload it together, hopefully. Right, so moving on to the EDP. This is what I wear more recently. Obviously, back to the EDT, I've worn that off and on for many years, and it's been very popular. I always, every few years, I'll get a different version or slightly different version of this, and hence here we are. So this, I don't want to say I prefer one or the other. They're slightly different, and I think for different occasions, they, you know, which you decide. But I consider this a darker, slightly more complex version of the other one. I don't want to say like preemptively that. Again, how I detect these fragrances, I find this less impactful at the start, but obviously being an EDP, longer lasting, more projecting, stronger, still fresh, but just slightly different. So again, when you're testing, don't just test on the card and go, oh, I want to buy that, or oh, that smells amazing, because you need it on your skin, and there's only so much skin, you know, on one person, especially on certain points of the arm. You don't want to, you know, do like 10 different sprays up an arm, or even worse, a mistake I made years ago. Bag full of about 20 or 30 of these. Smelt amazing, but I didn't know what was what. And then obviously if you write on the card, because again, some of the cards you can't always get from a certain brand and so on. Anyway, without further ado, go into the final part of the review. Right, so put these back without knocking all the other ones over. Okay, so as I said, it's strong. Now, I haven't actually worn this for a while, and it could also be because my airwaves have maybe opened up more from where I went to the gym earlier, and so on. But this is projecting in a different way. This is projecting in a way that some people might find really harsh if they just, you know, they get that initial burst, and they might think, oh no, that's not for me. Again, big mistake to just judge on that initial smell and then be like, I'm done with it or I love it. You kind of got to give it a bit of time, because you get dry down, and the dry down will be what you're actually smelling for longer than, say, the initial smell. So it's important, because again, if it is a fragrance that lasts on the skin a long time, it's more important actually for how it's going to smell. Because say if you're going to the office, or you're going to work, or you're going to the gym or whatever, and you put it on in the house where no one's around, misses, whatever, that initial smell most people won't acknowledge, and you know, even if they do, what it dries down to can be very different. So I'll just add that in, because again, it's a mistake a lot of people make. I've made it in the past. I just buy on that smell or hate based on that initial smell. So here we go. Okay, see, it's really bizarre, because to me they smell very different initially. The initial smell is very different. You would, like, again, I know that it's Jean Paul Gaultier, even when I smelt it, you know, obviously I've seen the bottle. I'm not, you know, not blindly walking in and just going, you know, knocking things over and spraying away. But I kind of, it's got that signature Jean Paul Gaultier smell, and the projection is very similar. However, in comparison, I would say the EDT is fresher, cleaner, kind of linear, or I'm not kind of sure of the terminology. I'm still educating myself on some of this, but it tends to be like this. Let's just say the smell for the 4, 6, 8 hours for you with this blue Jean Paul Gaultier is linear, where this one's already kind of changing. And again, it's not ideal to keep smelling different fragrances, but I can detect, because my airwaves are kind of open, I'm detecting the different elements. And even though there's similarities, I would say they're for different occasions. Obviously, you could wear this one just as well as the other for the gym. But again, I would still give this a 9 out of 10. I like them both personally. They're mass appealing, they're strong, they're masculine. I think that they've got different applications, so it's not just, say, a freshie for the gym, all citrus and so on. You can wear it clubbing or even a meal. Personally, though, I would say the EDP or the Black Lamal nightwear clubbing, maybe it's a bit more darker, or you know, it's not darker, but it's kind of, it's more nuanced, and there's a bit, I don't want to say darkness, that's probably not the right word. It just, I picture when I smell it, the environment that I'm in and the kind of reactions you would get, where the EDT, the, all right, Una, she's still meowing. It's kind of like a timer for me to finish as well, so that's sort of good. Yeah, so both 9 out of 10. Just to go back to, we've gone over the prices in the previous part of the video. So yeah, I recommend them both. Again, you can shop online and find deals, and like most places, Boots and Superdrug and so on, you can get hold of either or from both places. And personally, I would say to test them on your skin, not just go on, you know, one of these cards, keep pulling that out just to show people, one of these tester strips, because again, how you smell and detect on skin is very, very different than on a card. and breathe. So I'm going to leave that there. So I hope this helps whoever happens to find it on YouTube. I could be like that. I could be that guy. If you like and subscribe, you'll help the algorithm, or whatever people say. And see, look, I've even learning about technology. I've even got a little clicker, so I don't just have to awkwardly turn over and do that with the phone, even though I could do that, and I was tempted to do that. I'm trying to get with the times and trying to, I don't know, it could be a midlife crisis, it could just be through boredom, but again, the channel is trying to help people out in terms of not just fragrances, but I'm going to do hair products, I'm going to do other things as well, hopefully along the lines. So I'm going to leave that there, and I don't know what else to say. Hopefully this review helps you, and look forward to your feedback and comments. Hopefully they're nice. If they're not, then, you know, what can I say? I'll try and take on any positive and negative feedback as best I can. But, you know, I've kind of been open and upfront and honest about who I am and what I'm trying to do. So there we go. And the clicker isn't working.